Well, good afternoon. It's Longhaultanker, straight razor shaving with Longhaultanker, and today is 29 February 2024 at approximately 14:30 Central Time, USA. And I just got home today, and I don't have a lot of stories to tell you, but I will relate some details, hopefully that they will be of some interest for those of you that like to follow the truck driving side of my life. But I'm also going to do a straight razor shave. That's why we call it straight razor shaving with Longhaultanker. If you're watching me on YouTube, I say thank you. And hit the like and subscribe button and do all those little things, shoot me a comment if you so desire, make it courteous and respectful. And you can disagree with me, just be courteous and respectful. And don't tell me to shorten the video because I ain't going to do it. All right, equipment today. It's always about the razor, I say. And this is Philharmonica, Sub-Zero. What was the guy's name? What's the guy's name? Jose Monserrat, made in Spain, and very thin. These razors are very thin, and this was. I've had this now, 3, maybe 4 years honed up. And I've got 4 Phillies, 2 Novodur, a Sub-Zero, and an Inox. And I have about 3 days, a little better than 3 days growth. My last shave was on Monday morning, 8 o'clock, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, somewhere in there. But I'll tell you why as we move on in other discussion. This was honed, all 4 of the Phillies were honed up on the Shapton Glass Series, 1K, 2K, 4K, 8K, 16K, 30K. And you can see there where the bevel is just shining very nicely. And since that initial honing, I haven't had to do any touch-ups on it at all. They come up in rotation once a quarter, so I use each razor approximately 4 times a year. And I'll go ahead and say this now, the head shave razor is that no-name Sheffield. It's all been sanded down, whoever did it, but I'm going to use this for my head shave, which is my only Sheffield that I use. All the rest of them are Gold Dollars, Union razors, that sort of thing. All right, and my brush this afternoon, Sterling Soap Company, Boar, bristle, 31 millimeter knot, just a giant of a brush. Just love this brush, it's just huge. Made by Zenith for Sterling, and it's just a monster brush. Look at that. Can you look close? Look real close. Maybe you can see Boris Johnson's face in there. Ha, 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 ha. Okay, we'll let that soak. And then the soap, I've reorganized my soaps so many different times. I've got it all in alphabetical order according to manufacturer at this time, but I haven't used the vintage soaps in a good while, and so I'm going to kind of circle back through them. And using Cella Italian soap, Crema di Barba has got a wonderful almond scent, almost a cherry-like scent, and so we're going to use that today. And I've got the big kilo block of this stuff, and I'm never going to use it all, so my wife threw away a little container, not quite as big as the Cella bowl, not quite as big, more like the Clubman soap, the little green Clubman soap container, and I packed it up real good with Cella for my good friend Randy. And I've already sent him pictures of what I've done and what he can look forward to. He just lives, if you were to look at a map of Spring, Texas, you would see that I-45 runs right down the middle of it. And I live on the east side of I-45, a good, a couple miles over. And he lives on the west side of I-45, just a couple miles over, and we're almost in a straight line. So we're separated by 4 or 5 miles, and it's not much of a jaunt to get over there. And I'm happy to, and I've come to the decision, I say decision, I've got so much soap, and he's not in the best of health. He's not invalid by any means, but not the best of health. He's retired from truck driving. He's 10 years older than I am. And I'm happy to share with him, and I want to share with him so that he can have, he still likes shaving with cartridge razors from the, like Harry's razors and those guys, whoever makes those private label stuff. He likes that, but I've gave him and loaned to him over the last couple of months several soaps, several brushes, and he's enjoying that, and I'm glad that he is. Glad that he is. So, I got home this morning, got back to the house at about, 12:30, 1 o'clock. I've been to Portage, Wisconsin again. I was up there, my last load was to Calgary. The last 2 loads prior to that were to Portage, Wisconsin. The previous load to that, I don't remember where it went. And then the load before that one was to Portage, Wisconsin. That was my first experience with Portage, Wisconsin. And it's turned into just a bread and butter, easy peasy, up and back, 2.5 days up, 2.5 days back, milk run, which is a figure of speech meaning very easy. It's just a very easy thing to do. And so I'm going back there again, and happy to do it. And got some of the kinks worked out on this last load with my dispatch manager this morning when I got back in. But so I left here on Saturday, this past Saturday. Today's Thursday, the 29th. So this past Saturday, I left here, and I had made specific arrangements with dispatch because to have this loaded as a first load of the day for the preloaders, which means the load time would be, 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. Not a second load, because they go in then at about 1 o'clock. They get back to the yard about 5 o'clock, and all the loads prior to this one, that's what was happening. And that made for a rather late evening, 5 hours to Shreveport. And I'd get in there about 10 o'clock, 9, 10 o'clock. And I wasn't happy about that. And I told them so. And so I made specific arrangements that this would be a first load when I got back from the Calgary load. And they said they'd do it. All the notes were put in the system, et cetera, et cetera. Lo and behold, they made it a second load. And so I didn't get back to the yard until 5 o'clock. It got back to the yard about almost 4 o'clock. But by the time I got done with the pre-chip inspection and all the stuff that I have to do, and double check on the work of the first guy, and they always miss stuff, important stuff. I didn't get away until 5 o'clock, and I got into Shreveport between 9:30 and 10 o'clock. And I was not happy about that. My vision of this load is it gets to the yard about noon. I hook up and go by noon. I get to Shreveport by 5, 6 o'clock. I, go to dinner, go to bed. I get up early the next morning. And from there, the Love's truck stop at Shreveport to the Love's truck stop at Herculeum, Missouri, is about 9 hours. It's a full day of drive. It's about 600 miles, and which is fine. I leave early. I get in about 3, 4 o'clock up there. And because the next day is a shorter day, it's about 7.5 hour day, and they have on-site curbside parking, and deliver at 0600 the next morning, it just makes for a real easy, not easy, you have the worst day of it is 9 hours that you go from Shreveport to Herculeum. Everything else after that is just slick. Anyway, that delivery was on a Tuesday for this load, and so that Sunday night when I got in there to Herculeum, had my dinner, went to bed, but I postponed my shower and shave until Monday morning. Got up. I didn't have to get underway to Portage, Wisconsin until 11, 12 o'clock. And so I got up early and went in, did my 2-hour routine for shower and shave. And everything was fine. My new little gadget for the door lock didn't work, so I had to rethink that. I got a new one of a different style. All right, here we go with the Philharmonica. But anyway, everything went fine. So other than that snafu of them not making it a second load, or not making it a first load, but rather a second load. And so I got late. I got underway late, and I didn't like that. And, I know there's a lot of truckers out there that, they can drive at any time, day or night, doesn't matter. They're a super trucker, and they'll die of a heart attack if they don't take better care of their health. And the sleep rhythm, the circadian rhythm, is a very important part of taking care of your health. Oh, that's just slick. That is slick. So, anyway. that is kind of it for the truck driving side of things. Yeah, I told my boss this morning, I said, and she's the new terminal manager after the shakeup here a few weeks ago. I told my boss, I can't do my job and everybody else's as well. And when everybody else doesn't do their job as they say they're going to do, or as is presumed they're going to do, which means do it right, then it's the end driver, which is me, that gets kicked in the teeth. I don't like that. Not at all. I'm expected to do my job, and I do my job. I can hear a little bit of sound coming off of that. I don't know, can you hear it? Is the razor singing? I'm not quite sure. I know my television is. I suppose you can hear that nice soft music I got coming from it. Oh yeah, that's just wonderful. And of course, the soap is doing fabulous, smells wonderful. You can't go wrong, especially for a beginning soap. You cannot go wrong using Cella. Both the red and the green, I will say, as well. The red is the oldest one, the green is the newer invention. But it's a fine soap too. So my delivery at Portage on Tuesday was at 0600, and they have a very good reputation for getting us unloaded and out of there within an hour. And so I was, of course, I got in place at about, for unloading, at about 5:45. And he didn't come around then till about 6:30, and I was out by 7:30 and underway. There's a Love's truck stop nearby. I stopped and fueled up all my fuels, and off I went, and made it all the way down to Steele, Missouri, which is just about 5-10 miles north of Blytheville, Arkansas. And that was a 620 mile day. And so I didn't have enough time quite to get back to the yard on the next day. So in terms of available drive time from Steele, Missouri to Houston, Texas, I was going to be about 30 minutes short of drive time available to get me back to the yard. And I said, that's okay. I've got several options along the way. And I said, I'll just take my pick as I drive along and what time it is and so forth. And what happened was, I was going to stop at Carthage, Texas, about 4 hours from the yard. No, I got there, and that is to say, I drove by there because I wanted to keep going. It was still early enough in the day. That's too early to stop, but I got lots of drive time left, so I kept going. The next one is in Lufkin, Texas, the new one on the north side of Lufkin. And got there, no, still had enough drive time. So now I'm committed. I've passed all the Love's truck stops. Not, there's still lots of other truck stops along the way, not Love's, which, okay. I have my love-hate relationship with Love's truck stops. And so there was one, and I knew this, in Cleveland, Texas, which is about an hour north of the yard. And so, I got enough time to get there. I'll get in there about 6:37. We'll see what time it is when I get there and what the truck parking availability is. And I suspected that it was going to be all jammed up when I got there. But on the way down, I had forgotten about this non-Love's truck stop. And they rebuilt it and remodeled it about a year and a half ago. And it was, as I passed it, going to the Love's at Cleveland, I was taking note. It was wide open. Concrete parking, line parking, enough room in there for about 200 trucks. Beautiful truck stop. And as I suspected, the Loves was jammed up. So I just turned around, went 8 miles north. And that put me about an hour and 15 minutes from the yard this morning. And I was going to sleep in. I wasn't going to overexert myself getting in. So I got underway about 8:30 this morning, got back to the yard about 9:30, 9:45. Everything went fine. Got checked out of the, after I had some conversations, I had to take care of some business. And after I got out of there, got home about between 12 and 1 this afternoon. And it's probably pushing 3 o'clock, 1500 now. But I've been at it for a little bit, haven't I? And talking. Very nice. And also about this cella, I made passing comment that, you know, the almond smell, the cherry smell, it's a strong scent too. It's not like some of these that fade quickly. Very rich, thick lather, and it does lather. It just doesn't sit there as a cream. You can beat it and it'll multiply. Oh, there goes a boar bristle. I see that Jock, South Africa, Dapper Shaves, has a new video up today. I'm going to watch it here in a little while when I get done with my shave here. And Martin, I've been keeping up with you. A little blood is not a big deal. Remember my motto. If it's not bleeding by the end of the shave, it never happened. Right, Bill? Very nice indeed. All right. Very nice. Whoops, what am I doing here? Okay, yeah. Had to think for a second. Well, since I'm home, I should have this edited and posted up here sometime late this afternoon, this evening. Not worried about that. But it's been several days since my last video and wanted to get one in while I was home here, and today seemed like the most logical time since I had as many days of whiskers as I did. nice. All right, against the grain, pass number 3. Well, I've gotten kind of quiet because I'm getting tired. All right, I'm back. That was an elapse of about 45 seconds. Okay, we'll go with that. All right, let's rinse it off and see what we got. Check the sideburns. Very nice. Wait, look at that. I look like my regular self. My handsome self. All right, we're done with the Philharmonica. We'll set it aside and go to the No Name Sheffield. I gave myself a haircut with the clippers before my shower after I got home. So I'm down to, dare I call it, first position, you know. All right, No Name Sheffield. Well, that's not bad. I'm going to let that go because it is right off of the haircut today. Now let's do one more thing and we'll be done. And I thank you for staying with me for as long as you have. And want to say hello to my usual regulars that I say hi to. Bill M. Lukey3262, also known as Matt. And Martin Test Shaves. And Jock at Dapper Shaves. I'll be watching your video a little bit later. I just squeezed some lather out of my brush for the back of my neck. A little dry. All right. Now I did have a request to turn around so you can see me actually shaving the back of my neck. So I've done it before, but here we go. All right, I think that about does it. Oops. Let's give it a I forgot to do the downstroke here. All right, we're done with the razors. I'm going to do some refinements here as I end the video. Put the brush in the water to soak for a little bit. Rinse it out here shortly. We're going to use some Osma alum block as our first step on the refinements. Let's rinse with some cold water here. There's the actual alum block, as if Texas had real hot, cold water. We did have some for a few days after the temperatures got so cold a few weeks ago. But I think we're headed into spring. I don't think we're going to see any major blizzards or ultra cold temperatures in the lower 48 anyway. Maybe in those extreme places of North Dakota and Minnesota. And Montana perhaps. But I think it's warming up. The trip to Portage I just had, very mild temperatures all the way up and back. All right, done with the alum. And so let's put on some Thayer's, lavender, okay. We're going to throw on some Lucky Tiger. And like I always say, why? Because I want to. Got a nice citrus scent. What else does it have? Aloe vera, chamomile, calendula. I have no idea. I'm sure I could look it up and find out, but oh well. Now, I'm going to put on some nice aftershave cologne. I'm going to use Dakar Essence. This is a little small sample bottle, and this is the second video in a row, I think, that I've used this, or last one from home. But I've got another bottle. It's a sample bottle. It's a much bigger sample bottle. So I'm not worried about running out anytime soon. Oh, that just smells terrific. And for the final step, we'll see how much powder. We're going to do a powder, Panade Clubman powder, cornstarch. Yeah, it's starting to run out. And that's it. Thank you very much for joining me. Long Haul Tanker saying, I will see you down the road.